increase in the number of suicides that we have. Because you see something that no human being should ever have to see, that causes an injury to your body, is hard for some people to accept.
We call it the hidden wound. I like to refer to it as the silent scream. By definition, post-traumatic stress is an anxiety disorder that develops in reaction to a physical injury or a severe mental or emotional distress.
I think it might be as high as 30% actually who have some level of post-traumatic stress. I think people don't understand what people go through here.
But the days upon days upon days of living at such a high alert level physically will burn your candle out.
So I think there's like an anxiety that sticks with you about stuff like that.
And we are never going to totally convince everyone that these are, hidden injuries, as serious as losing an arm or a leg, and are things that, quite frankly, the science behind them and how we treat them is just not as mature as it is for some of the other wounds of war.
I think the overall experience of being in a combat zone stays with you forever.
But nobody's immune. Nobody's immune. There is a cost to what we do here.
Getting out of the military, it's scary, because you have this whole life that you learned. For me, it was 6 years active duty in an infantry unit. Now I have to all of a sudden go be a civilian.
When I hit rock bottom, I actually contemplated suicide for a while. It had really gotten to the point where, I didn't know what it was. Mentally, I didn't know where I was. I was lost. I really felt like I was feeling my way with my hands in the dark.
It's like you just can't get straight.
Yeah.
You just can't get yourself right. And no matter what you do.
Even talking to other people, talking to each other, there's nothing that helps.
You just can't figure yourself out.
It will tear you apart. It will tear your life apart. And many a soldier has met an end at his own hand or at a bottle or something because they didn't know what to do.
You don't know when it's going to happen. You might think you're okay, then all of a sudden you go from complete calm to absolute chaos like that. And that has an impact. There is a cost to what we do here.
You think post-traumatic stress is more prevalent in this war than in other wars?
It's about being mentally and physically tough. So it becomes difficult for some of these individuals to admit they have a problem.
I came back at 26 years old. I was engaged at the time, and my life had been flipped upside down.
But there is something kind of wrong, I do have this agitation, this anxiety, this hypervigilance from time to time. Maybe something's not right. So I went down to the VA, and they asked me, they said, have you ever been blown up before? Or have you ever been exposed to a blast? And I said, yeah, quite a few times. And they were like, how many? And I told them, and they were like, wow, well, you probably have traumatic brain injury.
Rather than ignore this, if we saw a soldier who had a gash in his leg and was bleeding, would we take him off the battlefield and get him the care he needs? God dang rights we would. And if we see a soldier today who's suffering from PTSD or traumatic brain injury or any other kind of behavioral health issue, we've got to get them the help that they need. Only bad things happen when you wait to treat an injury.